beauties, it's Brittany and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you a Dollar General makeup look. I have been seeing this brand, Believe, that you can find at Dollar General, and I've been hearing so many amazing things. So I went on over to my local Dollar General and I picked up a few things. Let's get some makeup on. I should have gone through and opened all of these things so that it wasn't as much of a struggle, but the main thing that I really was intrigued by is the Believe Skin Finish Foundation. And this is something that I have been seeing so many rave reviews about, that it's like such good coverage, it wears really, really well. I did pick up the shade Linen, but now that I have it underneath the lights, it's very light, but I have heard that this does darken a little bit on the skin, so I'm curious to find out myself. So I got the foundation, a setting spray. I definitely didn't get everything from the line. One, because I don't need everything from the line. Two, things were kind of sold out, and these were the items that I was most intrigued by. Okay, so this is the foundation. Like I said, I picked up the shade Linen, which I believe is their lightest shade. It does have a glass bottle and a beautiful pump. The packaging is really nice. Something that did happen with a few of the products, because there was a security tag on it, it now has like a sticky area to it, which is annoying because now it's stuck on my product. I can get it off, but it is nice because it means that nobody else opened it, which is nice. They did also have a makeup protective setting spray, and this also has a sticky area to it now as well, but I'm excited to see what the spritzer is like. This is the gloss in the shade Heartbreaker, and this is that security tag that I'm talking about. The gloss doesn't really have any kind of scent to it or anything. It's just kind of a standard gloss applicator in kind of like a nude color. This is the highlighter in the shade Champagne Kiss. I'm very excited about this. It looks very golden and reflective. I'm just a little concerned it might be a little too dark on my particular skin tone, but we shall see. This is the blush in the shade Creamy Peach. Looks like a really beautiful satin finish blush. They had a lot of options for blush, but this one, it was the lightest, so I'm worried about pigmentation, but I wanted something that didn't have a bunch of shine, but also wasn't like neon pink. And then this is the bronzer in the shade Hawaiian Glow, which I've been hearing a lot about. And this has the security tag on the back, which I do like, and it was sealed with kind of tape on the front here. So that tells me that nobody opened it, but at the same time, the security tag, I don't have to rip it off and get the product all sticky. The mascara I chose was the Volumin'eyes mascara, and this one I saw in Allie, I can't remember her last name, but I love her on YouTube. I saw on her channel and it looked gorgeous on her lashes, so I'm excited about that. Instead of getting any lip stick or liquid lip, I just got a lip liner in the shade Barely There, and it's a twist up component. Just a very nice natural nude shade. I'm excited to try this. And instead of a liquid liner, I got a pencil liner in the shade Mystic, very similar to the lip liner in the sense that it's kind of a twist up component, and it looks like it has kind of a satiny finish to it, so I'm gonna have to use this for tight line and upper lashes today because I did not grab a black. This is the only one I grabbed. So the product I'm most excited about is the foundation. So I'm going to start with that today. I didn't get any eyeshadows, so I might just do like a quick eye look with another eyeshadow palette that I have. I'm thinking maybe the Maybelline Lemonade Craze, because I actually think they have this at Dollar General. I didn't grab a primer, so I'm going to be using my Pixie Berry M primer that I've been trying recently. I've been trying to play with the exposure on my camera, so if you notice it's kind of changing. I'm trying to see like what is the best level of intensity. I really want to try this setting spray, so I'm going to actually use a little bit of it before makeup, which is sometimes what I do with my Urban Decay All Nighter. Oh, that's actually a really nice spritzer. It does have a very strong scent to it, which makes me believe that there might be some fragrance in here. Okay, so it does say that you can use it to prime, apply to clean skin before makeup, you can set, apply after makeup to keep it in place all day, refresh. The spray can be also used anytime to refresh the skin. I did also already do my brows because they had no redhead brow color, which is to be expected with like smaller brands. They generally just don't have a color for redheads. Well, let's get in with the foundation. Like I said, I have the shade Linen. Let's see. Ooh, she's like thick. Interesting. Okay. I do have a damp beauty blender, so I thought we would try beauty blender on one side, brush on the other, and just see what happens. Does have a kind of like a paint smell to it. So I'm really glad that I actually picked up the shade Linen because I feel like if I would have gone any darker, it would have been too dark for my skin. So I am the lightest shade. Let's hope it doesn't darken up too much. So I do only have it on this side of my face right now. I definitely do still see a lot of my blemishes, which my foundations typically don't cover that, but this one claims to be full. So let's go in with a little bit more and see if we can cover these real dark red spots up. So it definitely does have a little bit of that buildable coverage feature to it. I am seeing that that second coat did cover like my cheek area pretty well, but you can still see like the redness on my chin from a huge blemish that I have down there. So if you had like light scarring, it might cover it, but in terms of covering like an active breakout, I do still feel like I need to go in with a little bit of a thicker concealer. But for like under the eyes, I feel like it did a really good job kind of covering and concealing things there. I feel like it evened out my complexion really, really well. I'm liking the finish that it has to it. You do want to let it sit for a minute on the skin before kind of touching the skin, because I did notice around where my nose ring is, it was kind of coming off in that area. So I just took the nose ring out. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit before I put it back in. But let's go ahead and finish the face. I'm going to use a brush on this side. So instead of going in with concealer on these, what I am going to try to do is use a dab of it with a brush instead of the beauty blender, because the beauty blender always offers less coverage than a brush does. Like it kind of blends things out a little bit more sheer. And yeah, that definitely, because I noticed on this side when I was patting the brush, it gave a lot more coverage to the area. Okay, yeah, that's definitely covering that spot now. It's just that the beauty blender shears things out. So if there's an area in particular that you need a lot more coverage, like you're looking to cover a pretty red spot, I would definitely take a little bit of the foundation and pat it on that area versus bouncing a beauty blender. So this side is the one that I used a brush. This side is the one that I used a sponge. I think what I'm going to prefer for myself is going in with a brush initially and then blending it out with a beauty blender kind of all over, just to make sure that it's meshed into the skin, and then going over areas that need a little extra coverage with the brush in a patting motion. I think I'm going to try to stick with not using any concealer because I didn't buy one from the brand. So I just want to see kind of how I can get a final product without using too many external products. I do have to use a powder because I didn't get their powder. I was hearing not so great things even about the translucent one, that it left like a yellow cast, and I'm so fair already that if I put anything too dark on my skin, it's gonna look like muddy and just make the final look not great. And I really was so stoked about trying this foundation. It's really, really pretty. Like, it's filled in my pores a lot. I'm gonna zoom you in so that you can get a very close look. Okay, so this is my skin pretty close up. Hey guys, what's up? Down here is where I have a pretty big blemish that was covered by the foundation. I have a lot of scarring here that was covered. Active breakout right there that's pretty thick laying under the skin. This side, not too many, actually no active breakouts on this side, just scarring that needed to be covered up, and it did that. And my pores Like, where'd they go? Pretty stoked. That Berry M primer does claim to fill in pores, but it never does with any other foundation I've used. So that's leading me to believe that this foundation is the one that's making my pores look really nice, not the primer that I went in with. It's basically a glorified moisturizer. I'm going to set the face with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. Yes, a very expensive powder, but use whatever powder you have in your routine that you personally really love and find sets your face to your liking. And I'm going to throw some of the Maybelline shadow palette on my eyes as well, and then we'll get on to the rest. So I did end up throwing some concealer underneath the eyes. I just needed a little something extra, so I went in with my ColourPop No Filter in the shade Light. Then I just threw some eyeshadows on the eye. I took a little bit of Coral Punch in the crease, Old Fashioned on the outer corner, Citrus on the lid with a little bit of Strawberry Lemonade, and then Maiden Squeeze on the inner corner, Sunnies to highlight the brow bone. Now it is time to tightline and to do some eyeliner with the Believe Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade Mystic. And as a redhead, I always need something to tightline with because my lashes are so fair. I need to really fill them in before I go in with mascara. It was pretty creamy. Let's see how it behaves on the upper lashes. Okay, it's very creamy and opaque. Sometimes with like a more brown liner, nothing really shows up, but this is definitely showing up. I'm gonna take a brush and see if I can kind of smudge it a little bit. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't know if I just didn't notice if they didn't have a black or what the deal was, but this definitely seemed like the darkest color. They had some other shades available, but I wanted something that was like closer to a black. I really like the way that this smudged on the upper lashes. Definitely just depends on how it lasts up there. I do have hooded eyelids, so things tend to transfer after a little bit of wear, so we'll have to see. I am noticing my forehead is getting very cakey. I have lines and creases on my forehead and everything settles there pretty quickly on me, and I'm definitely noticing that. I do want to go in with lips right now. I'm just feeling that way. So I'm going to go in with the Believe Long Lasting Lip Liner in the shade Barely There. This is my kind of lip liner. Very creamy, very easy to apply. Looks like my lips, but a little bit better. Oh, I like that a lot. I'm actually not going to fill them in all the way. I am going to go in with the Lustrous Shine Gloss in the shade Heartbreaker. The applicator is really hard. Like I can't, it doesn't like smooth on the lips really easily. And not a lot comes off on the applicator. This is a really pretty color though. I am loving like a super, super glossy lip lately. Like more gloss, the better. Could just be me, but oh wow, that's stringy. Don't love that. It kind of smells like paint. I was just starting to edit this video. Oh, these are probably very glary. Let me take those off. You're gonna see glasses marks, but my glasses are too glary to leave on. I lost a bunch of footage. So I had applied the bronzer, blush, highlighter all on camera, and the footage just, either I didn't press record or the camera didn't work. Regardless, I used the Hawaiian Glow bronzer with a BH Cosmetics angled brush, and I do kind of touch on it when I am talking about my final thoughts and everything, but I did want to show you like how I actually applied it. First I used this brush on the outskirts of the face just to kind of contour, and then I established I didn't really like it just for contour, so I took a large brush and tried to just kind of warm up the complexion overall. All in all, I established that it's kind of not my favorite bronzer type of color or contour color. It's a little bit too dark. It ends up looking a little too muddy on my particular skin type. But once it has like settled a little bit, I don't hate my overall complexion look. I just wouldn't choose that over other bronzers. And then I used the blush in Creamy Peach, and it had a lot of kickback, like soon as I was putting the brush in there, it was like flying everywhere. And as you can see, I have quite a bit on my brush, but it's not a very opaque blush. I almost called it a foundation. Not a very opaque blush, so I did have to use quite a bit, but I did choose a color that was more on the light side because I wanted something that was subtle and didn't have shimmer, and this was kind of the only thing that was standing out to me. And then I went in with the highlighter in the shade Champagne Kiss, and as I was putting it on, I was kind of underwhelmed. I was just kind of like, okay, nothing to write home about, but I guess. And then I ended up asking Alex what he thought, and he said sometimes he does like a more subtle highlight so that my skin doesn't look like wet. He said it still looked like nice and fresh, but not as like as other highlighters, which makes sense. So the more I've layered on, it has gotten more intense, but that first like few swipes, I was like, okay. And then I did take a little bit of it on the inner corners of my eyes, and I did really enjoy the look that that gave. So I like it as a color, just not loving it as a highlighter on the face because I feel like it's a little underwhelming. But I mean, even for $5, like that's a good price, but I feel like Wet n Wild has highlighters as well that are even a little bit cheaper or that same price and wow me a lot more than this. So it's kind of the powder face products like the blush, bronzer, highlight that I was kind of like on, and the lip gloss definitely like wanted to take that off immediately. I ate dinner and I like took it off before I ate because it just like smelled weird, it felt weird, I didn't like it. So now me and my hoodie are gonna go wash my face for the night and cut to the rest of the video that was actually recorded. So another part that was missing from my video was me realizing that I actually picked up a brown mascara from Believe instead of the black mascara, and it was really funny. When I opened it, I didn't even realize on the package that it said brown. I just kind of was like, okay, here's the, it's brown. Then I ended up applying it and it worked really beautifully, so you'll see the way that it looks at the in the next clip here. But this video, I swear, has been cursed from the very beginning, so definitely think this is a beautiful mascara. Was pleasantly surprised at the way that I liked the brown, and will probably go back and get the black. Well, let's start with the foundation. It is a full coverage foundation, a beautiful package. This is only $5. The shade Linen worked for me, and I am very fair complexioned, but there are people lighter than me, and there are absolutely people darker than the colors that they had available in the store. I didn't actually go in with a concealer on my blemishes, which I typically do. I just went in with a concealer under the eyes today and a setting powder all over the skin. I do have to say I definitely would not use as much product on my forehead in the future. I have lines there and everything kind of settles in that area, and I don't need as much coverage up there anyways, so I would really focus the foundation on my entire face with a super light layer to start with, and then I would build up just in the areas that I need versus doing 2 layers everywhere. But the pores in my nose area are definitely very filled in, which I am super happy about. I haven't had any creasing in the smile lines yet, but I haven't been moving that much or talking or anything like that. It is very late in the day because I did not get out until very late in the day to get this product, so I won't be able to do a full day wear test, but I'll put some thoughts in the description bar below before I remove my makeup tonight. I am super picky about the way that my products look and are displayed, so the fact that this has stickiness on the back really does irritate me, but it might not irritate you. This eyeliner is super creamy, very easy to use, was super easy to get into the tight line, and it didn't get down onto the waterline, which happens a lot with pencil eyeliners, especially really creamy ones, so I do appreciate that. It smudged out on that top lashes really easily. I was able to go in with a brush and kind of smudge it out, but it has definitely set now. There hasn't yet been any transfer to the upper lid, and I do have hooded eyelids, so I'm excited to have a nice kind of taupey brown in my collection that I know will stay put on that tight line without smudging to the lower lashes. As you saw, I was quite surprised that I picked up the brown mascara. That was just my own fault. I'm sure it's on the box somewhere, but it was kind of a nice surprise. Definitely something out of the realm of what I normally do on a typical day-to-day basis, but I do like the more light appearance that this has, and if it doesn't smudge or flake, it's definitely something that I can wear to work, because when I go to work on a daily basis, I definitely am looking for a more light, natural look, and browns definitely give a fair complexion a more soft appearance. I will definitely be reaching for this lip liner again. The shade is perfect, definitely a your lips but better. I love lip colors like that, and I like ones that you don't have to sharpen. The kind of twist up component is my preferred when it comes to lip liner, especially if it's not like a super dark color like a red or a coral or a berry, when you need like a super precise line. With colors like this that are kind of matching your lip color or your skin tone or your, you know, natural tones, then it doesn't need to be so precise. Not a huge fan of the gloss. It's quite thick and like sticky together. Since it has set in, it definitely isn't as stringy, so maybe less is best with a gloss like this. The scent is not pleasant at all. It kind of smells like Play-Doh or like paint or something chemically. I'm not a fan. While this bronzer is not something that I would use particularly as a contour, I definitely do see myself experimenting with it as kind of an all-over warmth shade just to add more dimension to the face. It does have a lot of kickback in the pan when you put your brush in there. Let me see if I can show you. When you put your brush in the product, oh, now it's not going to do it. So maybe it's like the first few applications, it's a little bit more dusty, or maybe it was the blush. Now, this blush shade is definitely something that I'm not in love with. It's very, very light in opacity. This one does have the kickback. What the heck? Like, why? Maybe it's just like the initial bounces into it. It's very powdery because now it's not showing up as powdery. But it's definitely a very light blush. So if you're very, very fair in complexion, this is something that will show up better. But I am also very, very fair and I need to like pack it on. I felt like they needed something in between this and the darker shade that they had that didn't have shimmer in it, because I wanted a more matte finish blush, but the bright pink one was just like too loud. When I was watching a lot of videos, everyone seemed very impressed with the highlighter. I'm kind of just like, take it or leave it. I kind of put it on the apple of the cheek as well because the blush is matte, so it kind of shimmered it up a bit, but it's kind of like take it or leave it. Not all that blown away. I feel like Wet n Wild has better highlighters for an equivalent price. And then as for the setting spray, definitely use this before you use your mascara. I did get a little smudging down below. I'm not sure if it was the mascara or the liner, but I definitely had to go in and kind of fix a little mess up down here after spraying the skin. I typically do spray my skin before mascara. I mixed up the order today and I used my mascara and then used a spray product. Definitely can't attest to if this helps prolong the wear of my makeup because I've only been wearing it for like a hot minute, but I definitely love setting sprays in my life. It's a constant thing in my routines. I didn't love the scent of this one, but I did really love the spritzer. It did have like a really nice flow to it. I know it's definitely very important to have like a nice flow of product when it comes to spritzers like this, and this has a very soft mist. I will bring you guys in closer so that you can see what everything looks like close up. Okay, I thought I would bring you in really close so that you could see my skin very close up and personal. As you can tell, that mascara is amazing. I love it. The skin looks really, really nice. Like, it definitely is a full coverage foundation, which I guess I'm not used to wearing day to day. I am trying a new brow product, that's why it does not match like at all, so just ignore that. But the forehead is definitely where I'm seeing like the most creasing, because I do have, lines, as a lot of us do. I'm very expressive with my face, so I'm seeing settling there. I will, I'm sure, start to see settling around the lip area. The gloss, let me show you what happens when you do like a thicker Oh yeah, you could see it. Does that freak anyone else out? I hate that. I hope you saw that, because I hate that kind of thing. That eyeliner is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. The mascara is spot on. The blush, as you could tell, is very, very sheer. The highlighter is pretty, but it's nothing to, like, you know, write home about. The bronzer is a little bit on the dark side for my particular skin complexion, a little too kind of muddy for even an all over glow, I feel like. Thought I'd see if I can get you in even closer, but still be in focus so that you can see the pores and everything. Let me turn off my light. Okay, yeah, you could definitely see more texture to my skin now with no light. I mean, obviously I'm very dark, but I feel like it gives you a more accurate depiction of what my skin looks like in person, because I do have pores. I'm human. We all have pores. It is very pore filling though, and very full coverage, I do have to say. Can you see how it's settling in my forehead though? Yeah, you can see that definitely a lot better now than with all the lights on. So that's just from moving the forehead. I feel like with all the fillers going around, we forget that people can actually move their foreheads. But those are my thoughts. Everything was under $5. I think the foundation and the bronzer were the only things that were $5. Everything else was under $5. So like $4.50, $3.50, $2. I'll definitely list everything in the description bar below. I think of everything I've tried, I'm definitely most excited about the foundation, the lip liner, the eyeliner, and the mascara. These are the products that are definitely standing out to me as ones that I really want to like reach for again tomorrow, and testing the setting spray some more. The bronzer, blush, highlighter, and gloss are something that are definitely kind of like for me. Let me know if you guys have tried anything from this brand in the comments section down below, and if you recommend getting anything else from the brand. The eyeshadows did look really appealing. I just have so many eyeshadows at the moment. I just got the Conspiracy palette. My Tati palette is coming very shortly, and I just, like, I couldn't even justify the $5 for more eyeshadow in my life, but they did look really pretty. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Click the notification bell, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye guys.